Looking at your opponent, Aljamain, what have you made of his reign atop this division since your last fight?
I mean, is it a reign? I mean, I don't feel like the way he even got the belt, kind of sucks, right? For himself, I don't think he handled it very well. And then the way he squeaked that win out too. I mean, it's pretty lackluster.
And I'm sure you've heard the comments of him saying like he's made peace with it, the fact that you're probably souped up in there. So what do you make of that when you're hearing all of this?
I am souped up, dude. I'm looking good. You know what I mean? It's just excuses because he knows the guy that's going to be standing across from him is going to knock his ass out, and it's an easier way to swallow a pill of getting your ass whipped by supposedly someone that's on some sauce.
What's up? I feel like we've been talking about this fight for a long time, but now that it's only a few days removed, what are the emotions now that you're about to fight TJ Dillashaw in co-main event here in Abu Dhabi?
I'm excited, man. Great opportunity to fight a guy who's been a mainstay in the division, who's done a ton of work, beat a lot of people up, and who people regards as one of the best bantamweights of all time. So for me to go out there and take out a guy like TJ, I think that puts me up there with the conversation.
Well, he was in here and he said he actually considers himself already to just be the greatest bantamweight of all time. So I'm curious how you would rate his skill set overall now compared to your past opponents.
Rate his skill set. I mean, he had a 5-round war with the guy I finished in under 2 minutes, So no disrespect to Sandhagen. Sandhagen obviously evolved and kept getting better. And you see TJ, I don't know if he's the same TJ of old who had that crazy run. And that's just being honest. But I still think he's talented. He's tough. He showed that he's durable, showed that he won't quit. And I think it's going to be a good fight. And I just can't wait to just put my hands on the guy and actually see what he's all about.
You mentioned not being super impressed with Aljamain's run as champion. Do you think he's the best bantamweight in the world outside of yourself, or do you think there are other guys in the division that if he matched up against them, he would come up short?
It just depends on the night, man. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've been impressed with it because he's not a scary fighter. You don't have to go out there and be like, all right, man, I got to be on my toes. I don't want to be this guy's highlight real knockout, right? Like, I mean, I think his stand-up's been pretty lackluster. He's an arm punchers and set things. He looks scared on his feet. You know what I mean? But he's a great athlete. He does what he does well. He's explosive. And I got to put myself in those deep waters in practice and be ready for that kind of stuff.
Do you think this is going to end up into who can control the grappling more to determine the winner of this fight?
I think it's just going to come down to how well-rounded I am. He's not going to be able to do what he wants to do.
Well, he was in here and he said he actually thinks, in his words, that you have a quit button, and that's what he wants to find in there. So what's your response to that?
Show me a fight where I quit. Show me one fight where I quit, where I said, hey, I'm going to pack it in, turn over, and go home. Hey, ref, I'm going to cover up and pretend I can't defend myself a fight anymore because I'm tired. I'm just going to roll over and wait for the ref to save me, then get up and go, what happened? What happened? What? I was still fighting. What fight have I ever done that? So he's just, I don't know. For him to go out and say he's the greatest bantamweight of all time right now, that just shows his arrogance, which is exactly what I talk about. And I can't wait to just bring him a little bit of humble pie.
And you're also in a unique position where usually if a champion wins, there's a debate over who gets the next shot. But Dana White came out and said that the winner of the Jan O'Malley fight will fight the winner of your fight against TJ. So what do you make of that matchup and who you see moving on?
Man, Dana says a lot of things. So we still got the machine right here. So we'll see what happens and go from there. I got to get the job done and win first. And O'Malley and Jan, that fight has to be good as well. So that fight could be a snooze fest. We don't know. And if it does end up turning into be that, I guarantee Dana changes his tune. So it just all depends. Not every fight's going to be a barn burner. So I just got to go out there, do my job, handle my business, and then go from there. I'm not looking past TJ right now. I need to get past this guy. I need to skin the snake and just shut this guy up for good.
Obviously, his comments, right? He's saying what he's saying, and I'm sure that probably that's going to come up throughout the rest of your career. Is there any part of you that thinks, like, maybe I should just lean into this? Like, look at what Paulo Costa's doing with his secret juice. Do you ever think that maybe you should get up there with some secret juice and just lean all the way into it?
Yeah, I do have some secret juice. It's my clean juice. It's a company that I started up in Yorba Linda. I don't know, man. It's just I feel like I've handled it the best way that I possibly could, and whatever comes with it comes with it. Just I've been doing a really good job of blocking out any kind of noise early in my career. And I had to learn that through my career. I think that Dominic Cruz fight really kind of taught me that I need to fight with different emotions, helped me through that alpha male debacle. And I'm still here on top. If I'm in the sport, I'm coming for that belt, if not having it.
That being said, then, so when these guys say these sort of things to you, do you think they're trying to get under your skin and actually it's just kind of water off a duck's back?
Absolutely. I mean, it's mental warfare. It's we all know that's part of the game, right? As well as maybe it builds himself up. It creates headlines. It sells a fight. I mean, you guys are doing it right now, right? So that's why we're talking about it. It's selling a fight.
Joe, obviously you said that you have some queries about he might still be, doing some stuff behind the scenes. He said up here that he thinks that's just kind of mind games. You're maybe just trying to get under his skin. Is it mind games or is that you just stating your opinion?
That's me just stating my opinion. I mean, his teammates already outed him, saying that he's been doing it since he came from college wrestling. I mean, what more proof do people need? It's not my words, it's their words. Those are guys that he's trained with in those rooms and bled with and sweated with. So if he could do all those things with those people and they said that about him, I mean, why would they lie? So Mr. Needleshaw, he's been doing it for a while. I don't think he stopped. But regardless, I'm content with knowing that I'm going to get in there with him regardless. And whatever happens, I'm not going to make an excuse to say it's because of this. I have no idea. I'm going to fight him regardless, though. Hopefully he's not, and we get a fair fight. And if he is and I beat him, it's even that much better for me.
You mentioned that, it's his opinion that he's the best bantamweight of all time is kind of crazy to you, but is his name on your resume still a great name to have? Is he still one of the best?
No, he's definitely one of the best. I think it's crazy for him to say that he's the best based on what? I mean, you got Dominic Cruz, who still has the most wins based on his WC title wins and his UFC wins as well. I know it was a different era and different time, but he's still up there. It's like saying Anderson Silva's wins don't rank up to Izzy's right now. It's a different era. Izzy's fighting in a era where I would say people are much more talented based on when Anderson Silva had his crazy run. So I think it just depends on the people. The people have to look at those things and decide what's better and give us their judgment on who they think is the best. If I'm giving them my opinion, who's the greatest bantamweight of all time, I'm going to say it's Dominic Cruz. And I would like to think I'm right behind him. Not saying I'm the second best, but I think winning over TJ, I think who people highly regard, I think it puts me right in that conversation.
TJ, going off the back of that, I know you saw Dana's comments that he made earlier this
Who?
week. Dana White.
Oh, okay.
He kind of praised you for how you handled, he said you handle it like a man. Other people haven't done in the same situation. To kind of read that, what do you make of that? Does that make you, just reinforce that you did handle the fallout of everything the right way?
I mean, I knew I did, man. I mean, it's the only way to kind of do it. It was like my own little therapy session, to be honest, right? Just kind of like let everything off my chest and get it behind me. But yeah, I think I've gotten more ridiculed for it because I was so open with about it. But who gives a shit what anyone else thinks?
Yeah. You look at the bantamweight division right now. I mean, Aldo retired, Dominic Cruz just lost, Frankie Edgar is about to retire. These guys that you kind of came up with in the same era are all fizzling out a little bit, and you're about to fight for a title. What does that say to you about your ability to stay on top when some of these other guys have struggled?
I'm training the right way, and then I'm the best in the weight class, right? Like I said, if I'm in this sport, I'll be fighting. I haven't fought anyone under the top 5 since 2014. I'm up top.
Aljo, to kind of go back to the PED conversation, did you see Dana White's comments kind of praising TJ to a degree, saying, he owned up to it like a man? Do you feel like that was kind of strange, or what did you think of those comments?
Very strange, man. Dana's an interesting cat, man. I like Dana a lot, but some of the things I just have to wonder, like his reasoning and his rationale. Like, you're praising the guy who got caught and saying that he did it the right way and did it like a man. What is man? Like, what about that was manly? The guy got caught. He didn't come clean, Dana. I don't get it. And I think it's a very odd thing to say. Like, who else? There's been so many people who've popped, and a lot of them have been like real, like legitimate, like tainted stuff. And I don't get it. Like, what makes this situation more like a man versus anybody else? I really don't understand. Unless you got caught red-handed, you cheated. It's like having the needle in your hand, knowing you're about to do it, and you're like, no, I didn't. Then that's different. But saying that he's more of a man, it's a very weird and odd thing to say.
So you are the only champion, technically, on this card. Do you know if that helps you a little more on the pay-per-view side?
And Oliveira. No, my contract is my contract, so I get paid what I'm going to get paid based on the numbers and the sales. It would have been nice if TJ actually did a little bit more trash talking to build the fight. Given the fact that he actually doesn't like me, I thought he would have been a little bit more vocal, but he tends to shy away when people attack him with words. It doesn't seem like he's very good with words. He's just more like, shut up, you're stupid. That's kind of his trash talk. We've seen that over the years. So it is what it is. I get paid what I get paid based on the numbers, and that's that. So whether or not Oliveira's got the belt by his name, which I look at him as a champ, I think the world looks at him as the champ. You don't get an hour to make weight and come back to be the same exact thing. So something had to have happened with that scale. That's my personal opinion on that whole situation. But yeah, that's that with the pay-per-view.